Final minute. Empty net. 30 seconds. Go. Night. Oh, geez. Get it out of there. Stone. Towards it. Yeah! Empty net goal. Mark Stone. Let's go. Let's go. There's going to be a game 7. Let's go. Yeah! Man, act like you've been here before. Holy moly. Imagine if DAL scores there twice in the next 20 seconds, because I mean, it was still totally possible, but... Oh, the Vegas Golden Knights win Game 6 against the Dallas Stars in just one of the best hockey games I have ever watched. Kind of weird to be saying that about a 2-0 game, but the most entertaining 0-goal game through the first 40 minutes that I've ever witnessed, for sure. I would have said that either way, if Vegas had won or lost. And before we get into the game, I wanted to say a huge thank you for the response to my last video. A ton of comments from new people, a lot of Stars fans that were extremely respectful, civil, and even some Oilers fans, which, hi. I'm really humbled and grateful for all of that. And before I move away from this and get into the game recap, I want to say, either way the Game 7 goes, this has been a hard-fought, well and respectful, from my point of view at least, series between the two teams, the two fan bases for the most part, and just huge congrats to every one of us, all of us fans, just here to enjoy the good hockey that this is, the good hockey that we were able to witness. The Adin Hill back in net. The final score was 2-0. This guy with back-to-back Game 6 shutouts, both versus Dallas, because we didn't go longer than 5 against Florida, but incredible stuff from Adin Hill. He really stepped up his game all night tonight. He looked way more confident. He had this swagger about his technique, everything that he was doing on the ice. And it was so good to see him play like that for the first time in months. This was the return of Adin Mountain, and I'm sorry, Stars fans, because it really is dumbfounding how often Vegas lucks into these goaltenders that are able to just have magnificent performances. Marc-Andre Fleury, we revitalized his career in that inaugural season. Robin Leonard was fantastic with us. Controversial take, but he was a solid goaltender. And same with Adin Hill, Brossois, Thompson, just whoever we put in net has the ability to pull off a game like that. And Otter on the other end of the ice was also spectacular. He was really solid tonight. And it was one of those games where it felt like in the third period that was already in overtime. It felt like that at some points in the second period. Getting to that point, the first period, there wasn't a real ton that I wanted to talk about here, just other than the fact that both goalies were really on it tonight. They both came to play, they both played phenomenally, and both teams traded chances the other way. It was wide open hockey. The defense in the neutral zone, not there. It was just incredible, fun, exhilarating stuff back and forth that the goalies were able to also back up in their performance being exhilarating in the saves that they were making. So for a 0-0 hockey game, it was fantastic, and it was just fun. And the part of me that loves hockey in general hated that I had investment in one specific team in this game, because it was just so good, just chef's kiss of a game. And we got the cherry on top, Vegas fans, but Dallas also, not their best game, 100%. Not Vegas's best game. Both teams were making mistakes, and both teams were getting chances out of it, and it was just fun to watch. There were a couple of times throughout the game that Dallas, they cheat for offense a little bit. They have a little bit of cherry picking going on, which is great. It worked for them. Vegas wasn't able to really challenge it as much for the first couple of periods when those opportunities happened, which led to breakaways that Adin Mountain was able to stop. And then the game started to slow down a bit through the second period, and right as soon as I thought that, up, it picked up again. They had a ton of offensive zone time, and then all of a sudden, the other way, here comes Dallas with an absolute gift from Mark Stone to Rupe Hintz, who stayed in that zone way longer than he should have been because he was hit and to the boards. And Dallas, a really good job of passing the puck around, gets Adin Hill scrambling. He's out of his net. The puck makes its way over to Stankoven. And I don't know how he missed that. I was sure that was in the back of the net. I was like, oh, well, 1-0. He missed? How? What? Where? What? I was dumbfounded by the fact that he missed that, and I would be so frustrated as a Stars fan because that was really the best look of the night for them, and they weren't able to convert on it. McNabb was there positionally, but I don't think he gets a stick on it. I just think Stankoven misses it. And that really stinks too because he's been playing phenomenally all series long. Like, he's really stepped up, and it's his first playoffs, right? And he's just done a really good job, him and Johnston both, even though Johnston played Bush. It's just, yeah. This is when the power plays happen. Vegas has a power play and they have a chance, and then Dallas has a chance the other way, and it's just back and forth insanity. And I'm just getting this most severe case of whiplash going back and forth. I swore it went in, but it was off the post. Everyone thought it was in, and it wasn't. And then Dallas has this opportunity, and Adin Hill makes the save, and then it's back and forth, and I'm just... What is happening? And then the third period happens. Both teams tightened it up quite a bit in the neutral zone. That hockey was fantastic. My grandpa and I were talking about it throughout the game. It was just so much fun to watch this game. And then, for Vegas fans, it got a lot more fun. Carrier skates into the zone, pulls up, and tries to send it over to Waugh, but it gets batted away into the corner and then back, where Noah Hannafin is there, and he grabs it, and then he just skates around, skates in, wires it, and it goes off of Otter's arm and into the back of the net, 1-0. I jumped up. I celebrated this goal like it was an overtime goal, because honestly, that's what it felt like up to this point. It was just super intense. Every chance was dangerous, and the next one that went in, you never knew which team was gonna get it, and with the way that these teams have been playing, if that could have been the only goal. My heart, I jumped up, my heart rate got to 137, which like throughout the period, in general, like my resting heart rate's like a 76, and throughout the game it was like 90 to 100-ish the whole time. And then Hannafin's goal, and it jumped up higher than I've ever seen it during a hockey game. I didn't keep track of it during the finals last year, but it probably broke that last year. Before Hannafin's goal, the entire game was just so fast. Every single time I looked at the clock, I couldn't believe how much time had passed. And then as soon as he scored, the rest of the game was as slow as a snail. Like, it just dragged on. Minutes felt like hours, and I'm just waiting for the time to finally go down. And we get there. Otter is pulled from the net quite early, I might add, but honestly, with the way that these teams were playing, it was a smart move. And Vegas gets somewhat of a chance on the empty netter, but not really. And it's a stoppage of play in the neutral zone towards Dallas's side. So Otter came back in. And on the ensuing faceoff, we have the top line out there of Eichel, Hurdle, and Marchessault, and they rag that puck around for a good 45 seconds before finally Dallas gets possession, wasting a ton of time. Otter just couldn't get to the bench. And finally Dallas gets possession, and Otter books it before they've even left the defensive zone, because they kind of had to sit there for a minute while they did this change. Then there's a stoppage at about a minute left, and that's when I started recording, because I felt like I should. And so there's my reaction to the goal from Stone. There were a couple of good chances in there for Dallas, but Adin Hill stood up to the task. He was a mountain, and the commercial, it's a walrus. Ridiculous. Adin Hill was a mountain, and it was ridiculous. And then Mark Stone, the puck lands on his stick, he flings it on from 175-ish feet out, and it goes in for his third of the series, but like, that was his best offensive move, really, of the series. And Vegas goes up 2-0, and they're able to hold on and win Game 6. So we force Game 7 back to Dallas, and we have to do something that's never been done in NHL history, and that's beat Pete DeBoer in a Game 7. Alex Pietrangelo, I forgot about this until somebody said it in the comments last video. He had an appendectomy a month ago. I would be in bed still. Like, I don't know how he's playing hockey. Yeah, he had a horrible game last game with a terrible emotional decision that cost this team. Bruce Cassidy said, like, it's not a move that a veteran makes, but then kind of backed it up, backed his statement in the presser today by saying, you know, we had 4 or 5 other guys on the ice that should have been able to kill that penalty for him because of the penalties that he's killed for us. And he didn't even bring up the appendectomy. That's me bringing that up. He, like, I don't know how he's been abysmal this playoff series until tonight. That was his best game of the season. I was super impressed with him. He stood to the test after being called out by pretty much everyone last game. And I'm not trying to come to his defense about what he did to Sagan. It was bad. It was, like, wrong. And he got penalized for it. And now I know why it was a 2 instead of a double minor, because he didn't have his stick do it, which that doesn't seem like it should be the rule, but it is. I know people are going to complain about the LTIR thing because the 2 goal scorers were Noah Hannafin, who we were able to acquire with Stone's LTIR money, even though we definitely would have had him without that money. It's Hurdle, really, and Mantha, but which Tatar 2.0, right? And then Stone, but Stone is not at all healthy and should probably not be playing in the series, to be honest. But is, because hockey players are that way, and there's nothing that can really prevent him from doing so. This series has been phenomenal. The Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights, this is like Stanley Cup final worthy, to be honest. And I'm not trying to say like Vegas has been great, because they haven't been. They haven't been the Vegas Golden Knights that we've grown accustomed to. Like, they struggled towards the last, like, half of the season with all the injuries and stuff, and they struggled through the first 5 games of the series, to be honest. And Dallas has outplayed them until tonight, and this game was who Vegas was all last postseason, minus a couple of games. If they were to play like that, the whole, like, this series deserves 7. And I'm so glad that we did, and I understand why Stars fans hate that we did. We'll have to see what happens in Game 7, obviously. Who knows who's gonna show up. And it's gonna be after a second round game, which I hate that decision by the NHL. But Bruce Cassidy's 2-2 in his Game 7s. He lost his most recent 2 against the Blues back in the 2019 Cup Finals, and then more recently the Carolina Hurricanes. First round of 2022, right before he got fired and then joined us and won the Stanley Cup. And before that, there were the 2 wins were both against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So maybe he won those because the Maple Leafs are cursed. Maybe he won it because, I don't know. But this is his first Game 7 with the Vegas Golden Knights, so we'll see how he does against Pete DeBoer's honestly really impressive 7-0 record. 2 of those with Vegas, 1 of those against Vegas. Most recently against Seattle last year. Let's go. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Oh boy. Like I said earlier, either way, this has been a phenomenal series, and I'm just grateful to have been a part of it, to be honest. This really should have been the 3rd round. Darn. But that's gonna be it for Round 1, Game 6's nightly review. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good night.